With me today, I have a pioneering figure in the Malaysian legal system, Miss Kokila Vaani. She is the first female chairperson of Selangor Bar and is currently serves as the head of civil litigation at Kumar Chambers in Petaling Jaya. You had mentioned and touched on it earlier, Kogi, about children.
Yeah.
And in many cases now, it's a two-pronged approach that I'm going to come to you.
Okay.
One is, they're very clear-cut that I'm going to fight for my children. That's it. They don't want anything else. The second thing is, I want to go ahead with this, but I don't want to do this because I think my children is going to be affected. But at the same time, I'm caught between a rock and a hard place because I cannot live in this marriage anymore. But I have children to think. So my question is, because I've heard a lot of people ask those questions, is
Sure.
Number one is, how do you control, or how is the process of managing the children in a divorce case? Number two is, for those who are cannot take it, I really need to, separate from this person or walk away from this marriage, but my children is pulling me back. What is it that he or she needs to think about very clearly before taking on the next step?
Okay, so Sandhya, I think this is something that many people don't realize. When a lot of people have this wrong idea that, I'm going to stay on in this marriage because of my children. The truth is, if you feel it's toxic, then technically you are going to pass on the toxicity to your children as well.
Right.
I think many people don't realize it. So it's not a matter of stomaching anything because you don't want your kids to know the truth. All right. But I think there's better, like you said, there are better ways to manage it. Today, I must say that we are evolving as a society, and this whole idea of co-parenting. It's even a term in court today. Even courts are allowing co-parenting if parties agree to it. All right, and this is, of course, I must remember. I think I must mention, if one of the parents are not are still very good parents, because there are many cases that involves where one of the partners may be in a husband or wife might be in a domestic violence situation.
Right.
That there is no way you should be allowing your children to be in this situation
Right.
with that person. Right, but if there's no domestic violence, or if there's no sexual violences against your children, or if there is also if the parents, both parents are fit to take care of, and proper people to be a parent, I think they should be allowed to see the parent as well. I mean, either way, whichever parent. So I think co-parenting is a concept. This is one concept that I did recently, where what happens is the parents are divorced. But what they agreed on is that on the weekends, both of them will come and stay in this house to just make sure that the children grew up with both biological parents. So there is one house, all right, where the wife or maybe the husband actually, they both have moved out from that house. They both have lead separate lives. The children may be in the custody of the mother because they are very, very small children.
Right.
But on the weekends, they will be having the idea of having a full family according to the parents. So the father and the mother with the children will come to that particular house, and they will stay there for the weekends. And of course there are other terms like holidays, 50-50, that means 50% of the holidays they go, or like they will usually be invited for the one parent who's not with the children will be invited, so that the children is not growing up without the biological parents. This is to manage the children's growth and the emotions as they grow older, so they know that they are still with the parents. Or to slowly introduce that the parents are not living together, because you can't suddenly take the children away.
Yeah.
And that is what I think the biggest concerns of some
Correct.
mothers and
Correct.
even some fathers. Like,
Yes.
suddenly you come to an empty house, the child doesn't know what to do.
Right.
Because no matter what, there's always I'm a firm believer that unless the father or the mother is really not carrying out duties as a parent, they still should be allowed to be spending the time with the children.
Does this apply to a certain age, or like you do this until they hit the age of 18 or 21, or how does that
See,
work?
that's the thing. In a mutual divorce, you get to do under the custody, care and control. So what the court gives, everybody thinks it's all the same thing. It's not the same thing. Custody, care and control means three different things. The custody means the physical locality of the child. You know, where is the children placed? That means is the children placed with the mother or the children placed with the father? So I have custody of the children, all right? Now you can say 50-50 of custody. That means the children will live with me for 3 days and with you for 4 days.
Right.
Although you get the weekends, I get this one, but it's a 50-50 depending on the terms that we both agree upon as husband and wife. And then you go for care. That means who cares for the child, all right? So this is what when I mentioned, like, you know, it could be even the grandmother, or it could be the auntie or the brothers, the father's sister. It could be anybody who cares for the child. That means the care could mean like you know, even monetary and non-monetary as well. You know, and then you have control. You know, control meaning like I decide. All right, and usually it's good to have a 50-50 control, because I think as a growing child, I think both parents must be able to decide on the children's future.
Right.
So when I mean control, a simple basic example that I can think of will be education. You know, that means I will say that the father of the kid will have to pay for the education until the child turns 18, or until the child goes to college, or until the child gets a degree. That's a term that I can draw up.
Okay.
You know, or it could be the mother, whoever has a better financial background. It could be the mother who says that, you know, of course, or they even say that, but they may add something at the choice of, that means which uni. So there was one divorce that I did. They actually said the father has to pay the child's education and the tertiary education, that means college or university, up to the child gets to get one overseas degree. You know, so to be fully borne by the father,
right?
You know, so that you can even draw up. So at the end of the day, that's why I said mutual divorces are in a way better, because it is both parties agree to a certain things, and if one party defaults, you can go back to court and say, look, you know, he breached the order that he was supposed to do.
Right.
And therefore, so the control is very different. Or even holidays. That means, just say we are husband and wife, and I have decided to bring the child to a place where you as the father feel it's not safe. So when the control is 50-50, then you can actually not allow your child, because it's still your child, to not go to this particular place for holidays because you feel that it's unsafe for your the safety of your child.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So my advice would be put aside your differences as a couple and try to give a custody, care and control of 50-50. Of course, there are many people who have felt like one party has moved on. All right, and you do not want that your child to be growing up with another third party.
Right.
All right. Now you feel that you may have many issues with that third party, but then what you can do if your child is very young, what you can do is a supervised access. That means, I remember there was one couple who had basically the father gets to see the daughter, and she was, I think, 4 years old then. You know, she gets to see the father, and but the mother will still be there.
At wherever it is that
wherever.
they're going.
So it has to be an open place. This is the term.
Right.
So it has to be an open place from 8 to 4 p.m. or 8 to 12 p.m. It has to be in a public place. So if it's a restaurant, I will also be there, maybe having a cup of coffee in the next table.
At a distance or something.
At a distance.
Okay.
Or, you know, I mean, I may even say that, no, I want to also be part of, involved in this conversation, because your idea of seeing your kid is to see the kid.
Right.
Whether it is with me around or not, you know, it is something debatable. So, and you can also put that no third party is to be seen with the kid during access. Of course, there are some parents who are given overnight access. That
Right.
means the mother gets to, for instance, the mother gets to bring the kid, but return the kid back to the father maybe the next Sunday before the school. So yeah, I mean, even like I said, even education doesn't have to be tertiary. It can even be like the child goes to tuition classes, swimming classes,
Right.
ballet.
Right.
You know, it could
All
be
that is
anything,
covered by either
anything.
party.
Either party, or both parties contribute, or maybe you do 50%, you pay for the tuition. It needs to stop somewhere. You know, the child cannot be supervised when she's
Right.
above or he is above 18. You
Right.
know, so or even if it comes up to at least at the age of 16. You know, so I think. The good practice would be to allow the supervised accesses maybe to a certain age.
Right.
You know, depending on whether the child is a girl or a boy, and maybe it stops at the age of 15, if you ask me. Or if you really want to continue this up to age of 18, it's fine. But anything above that, I think may not be proper, because I think at the age of 18 the child would be able to know what is good and what's bad.
So I can still bring this back to your earlier point of mediation. All this also, when you have that process of mediation, you are then able to discuss this in a more calmly manner.
Yes.
You know, understanding what is best for the children, putting a lot of disappointment, anger, emotional distress aside, and come to an agreement with both parties and say,
Yes.
okay, this is what we'll do for our child or children.
That's right. That's right.
So folks, this is an option. You know, mediation is an option, not only for you to consider if you're thinking you're worried about doing this, but also when children are involved, to be able to think calmly and look at what's best for the children. This could be a way, you know, to look at mediation and be in a space where all that is discussed will come out win-win for both parties. Section below, we'll try to address it in our next episode.